The time goes very quickly. Perhaps it's because I'm getting older, I don't know, but it does go quickly. People do ask me that, are you divorced because of the royal family? No. If you had a husband living with you, perhaps you wouldn't have so much time. This is very sweet. People get very sentimental when they hear this. There's just something about it, isn't there? Very emotive.
How do people react to that when they...
Well, German people in particular do cry when they hear that, German women, because they felt very sad about Diana's marriage and how she was treated, they felt, within the royal family and that sort of thing. And so when they hear that, they start crying, which is sad. It's sad, but when you're in this room surrounded by her and then you hear that, that's just the thing that sort of tips them over. This is the latest doll in America. There was an article in the Daily Mirror about it, and it's a talking action figure, and they reckon that it's so horrible, well, I say horrible, a horrible likeness, that they think it will probably become a bestseller, because, I mean, that doesn't really look like anybody, does it?
Does it make a sound?
Yes, it can do Diana's voice, yeah, but I haven't actually played that, because I think that's a little bit spooky, actually, to hear Diana's voice in a doll. I don't quite know how they've done that. This is actually a bread knife that is from the coronation, for cutting bread and that, and he was brought out for the coronation. This is Prince William when he was a little boy. That's how they dressed him, and that's an exact copy of his outfit. These are some of the books I've been in. This was called Obsessions, Collectors and Their Passions. I don't actually think I'm obsessed with the royal family, in the sense that I've got my own family. I've got 4 children and 4 grandchildren, and I used to work 12 hours a day, so although people like to say I'm obsessive, I don't know. That's No Place Like Home by Richard Jarman. I'm in that as well. Those are people who turn their homes into sort of shrine.
How would you define someone who was really obsessed with something, do you think?
Well, I suppose somebody who thinks about absolutely nothing else, you know, that is their only life. But I do have a life outside the royal family. But the only thing is, it does sort of enter into different aspects. I mean, you might go out and somebody might be looking at you on the tube, and they're looking at you, and then they say, excuse me, have you been on television? And then we start talking about the royal family. So I suppose it does enter into different aspects. But no, these are my slippers of Charles and Diana. There's a lot of, they do say there's a lot of boring people in England. It's a lovely country, but a lot of boring people. But there are some people that aren't boring. I mean, Eddie the Eagle isn't boring, is he? You know, there are people like that that are not boring. So that's when they call us eccentric then. It goes from one to the other. I wouldn't say eccentric, different perhaps. I don't know. But perhaps we're more interesting than the average. I don't know. It's difficult to say, isn't it? I can't speak how other people feel. I know how I feel. And when I get with like-minded people, we never stop chattering. So therefore then, are we odd? Are we eccentric? I don't think so. Last year I had some gentlemen from Germany, and they're very fond of the royal family, and they meet once a month in a windmill. They live near the Dutch border, and they wear bowler hats, and they wear a sash, and they wear white gloves, and they have a piper who pipes them in and pipes them out, and they've been here, and they loved it. They loved it here. They said they're going to come back. They're going to make me an honorary member. You know, I know how I feel about it. And if somebody else doesn't feel like that about it, well, you know, perhaps they feel like that about something else. I don't know. Perhaps they go rowing. Perhaps they go fishing. Whatever. Perhaps they go play football. I can't think of anything less I would want to do than go to a football match. Now, how many people go to football matches every Saturday? So are they obsessed, or are they just keen on sport? What it is, I think mine is more tangible, because I've got something to show for it. If I were a drinker, I wouldn't have anything to show for it, and yet I could be one of the worst drinkers in Great Britain. But I wouldn't be obsessive. It's only me who's obsessive because I've got so much stuff. Oh, right. Do you know Peter Jones?